the consumers demanding more climate action from brand. So for us, it's a huge opportunity for climate tech startup. So we can contribute not just money and capital, but also creating the future for the planet.
Welcome everyone to Impact Investing Musings, a podcast series where we delve into the ever-evolving world of impact investing and aim to connect, educate, and share knowledge to drive capital towards impact. I'm Vikas Arora, Chief of Impact Investing at AVPN.
And I'm Jackie, your host. Vietnam is going through a rapid economic transformation. Can its young, tech-savvy population drive groundbreaking innovations in climate tech? In this episode, I discuss with Tran, Senior Associate at Earth Venture Capital, on their approach to navigating the opportunities within this dynamic market to take climate action and make an impact. Let's dive in. Chi, thank you so much for coming on board today. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm Chi, Senior Associate at Earth Venture Capital, and we invest in deep tech for climate solution. We're based in Vietnam, but we invest globally, especially in Asia.
Amazing. I think Vietnam is such a fascinating market. It's gone through such a huge economic transformation in the last few years. What kind of unique opportunities has this created for climate tech investments?
First of all is the strategic geographic location of Vietnam itself. We are based in the heart of South Asia and bordering China. So this location makes Vietnam a hub for trade and a very attractive base for global business operation. For centuries, Vietnam has been fighting invader, and this creates a strong national identity that passing on to the next generation. Vietnam's foreign diplomacy and is often called bamboo diplomacy, and it follows a principle of being friends with everyone and threaten to no one, right? So this approach has helped Vietnam to maintain a balanced relationship with major powers such as Beijing, Delhi, Moscow, Washington, and many global companies have diversified their supply chain since 2018, adding production base outside China. And Vietnam is one of the top options for them. And this shift has led to massive increase in Vietnam export. We have a very useful and tech-savvy population, with over 70% of our population are under 35, and we have increasingly environmentally conscious. So this combination of a young, cheap labor demographic presents substantial value for climate tech firms that expand into Vietnam. Another thing for the climate tech itself in particular, if you see on the map, Vietnam is a very long country with very long coastline, 3,000 kilometer coastline, and this is an ideal characteristic for offshore wind energy development. And also the government is extensively support of renewable energy, and it's created a lot of opportunity in the climate tech solution.
Yeah, it does. It has so much opportunity. But I know for Earth VC, Vietnam is your strategic base, but you do investments all over the world. What are some of the criteria for choosing these high impact ventures, and how do you select them?
So at us, in our investment sourcing, there are four main criteria. First of all, we look for outlier founder. We look for founding teams with strong background STEM so that they are able to scale a climate tech company. That's the first criteria. The second one is we are very market focused. So we invest in companies that based in smaller markets, such as Finland, UK, Singapore, and Hong Kong. So with that, those companies, they are forced to go out, to go global. And we wanted to bring this technology, bridge is to emerging Asia, including Vietnam, and offer this technology to this gigantic unserved market. And the third criteria, we also very technology focused. As I mentioned, we are a deep tech VC. We invest in digital solution or deep tech that have huge potential to cut down CO2 emitting stocks from industry like in energy, agriculture, and manufacturing. And the last one, we're also very focused with our sourcing. So we invest in unique spin out from top tier accelerator such as YC, Y Combinator, Breakthrough Energy Venture, or a spin out from prestigious university like Cambridge in the UK, or TUM in Germany, and NUS in Singapore.
And so let's talk about the kind of investments that you're making. So when we talk about climate tech, obviously the first thing that comes to mind is renewable energy. What kind of ventures is Earth VC evaluating?
I think I'll talk a bit about the Vietnam relation to renewable energy, right? So hydroelectric power has been one of the first kind of renewable energy that in Vietnam contributed to 33% of total energy production in this country. So for us, VC, we don't particularly investing in these sectors because it's already very developed. For us, we are betting in nuclear energy as a source of clean energy and specifically in small modular reactor. We are seeing the trend in the world. We're also seeing it's coming to Vietnam, and we want to be the early player in this.
Wow, it's such a fascinating industry. There are so many new technologies being developed every single day. Deep tech is such an emerging space. A lot of investors are moving into that from the social and environmental aspect. What are some of the challenges that you encounter when you're looking at deep tech and when you're looking at early stage climate tech in Vietnam and also across the world?
Yeah, so you see that even though we're Vietnamese based VC, we actually, up until today, don't have a portfolio that purely Vietnamese company. And it's because of the challenge we're facing here in this market. Our investment team, every time there's a climate tech company appear in Vietnam, they would know about them. So there's not enough deal flow for us. And also funding. We only have 2 climate tech VC in Vietnam, including ourselves. Climate tech and also deep tech sector that require very intensive capital. So without the sufficient funding, it's really difficult to develop this sector.
How can you encourage more funders to look at deep tech as an opportunity and founders to really look at climate tech as potential companies that they can start?
Yeah, I think first of all, a lot of the things comes from government and policy itself. Right, should have policy that encourage, support, or even help having grants to help this startup to encourage them to come up with more idea, or like even a lot of the um, technology that we're betting, as I mentioned, they are spin out from university, and in the US or in Europe, they have a lot of grants for this research to follow them for decades from the idea, from all the initial development until they are open for public funding. So I think that's lacking in Vietnam in particular. That's policy, right? For investor, we see that climate tech and especially deep tech is a long game. And a lot of the time, investor, they are like a patient. So they might not want to investing in climate tech, and they wanted to invest in something else that get them quicker return, like fintech, right? SaaS company. That's why in the past decade, that's a boom of SaaS company because it's easier to develop and it's easier to scale. So for climate tech and deep tech itself, we require more patience.
When you look at your returns as a fund, are you looking at purely the financial returns, or how do you bring together the social, environmental benefit in your portfolio?
As a VC, of course, for us, financial return is important because after all, we are investor. We're investing in things that we want financial return for our LP. But of course, and that's why we wanted to do something more than just VC, right? We wanted to be a climate tech VC. So we can contribute not just money and capital, but also creating the future for the planet. And for us here, climate is based on the emission. And what we focus on is to reduce CO2, reduce greenhouse gases. And we do have policy within government policy within our firm when we choosing startup, when we do due diligence to see the impact. Because of course, these technology, a lot of the time, they are very early. Our approach is we cannot strictly measure how impactful they could be, but looking through the market, through similar solution, how it has been done to see what's the climate impact.
Amazing. What advice do you have for other investors that want to move into this climate tech space? Any tips for the ecosystem?
You have to have a passion for the planet. You have to have a passion to fight climate change, and also curiosity for new and breakthrough technology. You have to stay in a junction of a lot of parties. Right? You have to work with founders. You have to work with limited partner. You have to work with other VC, other kind of investor, with the policymaker. So you're in the middle. You have to be able to talk with everybody, and also you need a outstanding knowledge of the market, and also be able to spot and evaluate potential technology solution that coming, the trend that coming. As our job at the end of the day, as I mentioned, is to find potential investment opportunities and making the bet that will not only generate financial return, but also we play a key role in nurturing the technologies that in few years can transform the world that we live in.
This is quite a nascent sector. There's not that many, especially deep tech in climate. Are you working closely with other peers in the space? How is the collaboration within that ecosystem working? How do you work together with other partners to help lift each other up and bring more into the ecosystem?
I'd say there are a lot of community or event that surround climate tech or sustainable solution that we're attending, and we make a connection there. Another thing that we do at USBC, we have this initiative that is called Earth Venture Foundation. And basically, we wanted to use the money for investment to put into the foundation and to grant researchers from university. We understand that a lot of the time, those research in the beginning, they struggle with funding. So we want to be early on part of that, helping them grow and expand their idea and their research. And also with that foundation, we wanted to create a knowledge transfer environment. So with that, we have actually published 2 books in Vietnam, one on venture capital, and the other is on climate change. So to help educate the Vietnam market. And also we working as partner with think tanks. Currently, we have one partnership with a think tank in India to do a podcast and newsletter series to educate about the intersection between fighting climate change and AI and also potential for Asia.
Amazing. Any tips for founders that are in the climate space, in the deep tech space, that would be looking one day to work together with a VC like yourself?
I think, first of all, be committed. It's going to be a tough journey that you are doing, and you are very brave. I am not a founder myself, so I'm very appreciate and look up to the people who dare to do that. So being committed, stand for it. Do not just change it because somebody or VC tells you to change it. Stand out in your idea, in your team. You have to have a team that actually have the expertise, not just in the technology itself, but also a team that when a VC look at you, they see that, okay, these people will be able to grow this company. And looking at the market, like I met with tech founder, and a lot of the time they are all about the product, and they forgot to look at, okay, is there a market for it? So to be able to have a startup and not just in climate tech, you have to find the big enough market for your solution for VC to look at you and see, okay, their potential.
Maybe that helps me with my last question, which is, do you feel like there's increasing opportunity? What does the market look like right now for climate tech?
So global warming is not a very new topic anymore. And there has been a lot of weather issue. In Vietnam, we have flood, where we have heat wave, and even in Europe, we have heat wave. So people actually, the awareness of global warming is increasing. So for us, it's an opportunity. The consumer is demanding more climate action from brain. So for us, it's a huge opportunity for climate tech startup.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your insights. I'm very excited to see how your fund continues to scale, not just in Vietnam, but globally as well.
Thank you, Jackie, and thank you for having me here today.